Today I'm going to go over some misconceptions about what yoga is. I know that even though here in the western part of the world, yoga has been going on for numerous years, but it never fails. I always have some people who are confused about what yoga is and even think that yoga, it has a religious connotation. Especially since I am doing a lot of work trying to get yoga into the schools in my community. I feel like it's important to start the kids learning mindfulness and yoga early on, so this could be a part of their the skills that they have as they get older to deal with stress and anxiety and things like that, even anger issues. I believe that yoga leads to people wanting to have a healthier life, not just physically but mentally, and there's so many other benefits. So I'm going to go over just a few things that I hear when I'm talking to somebody who has never done yoga or who feels, just they have unanswered questions. So the first one is that I am not, this is the statement I literally hear from everybody, I am not flexible enough to do yoga. So that's why you do yoga. You do yoga because you want to become more flexible. You want to gain some more movement in your body, and maybe you're not, maybe you need help after a surgery or you've had some type of injury and you're really trying to get healthier. Yoga is a great place to start. There are, I don't even know how many injuries yoga helps. There's just yoga is like this. It's not a cure-all. Don't get me wrong. Yoga is not a cure-all for everything, but it helps to increase flexibility. It helps lower blood pressure. It helps you find clarity. It helps you become more intuitive in your own body. And it's excellent for people who are just trying to get into some type of form of movement. And it allows you to kind of ease into a program. So the next thing is, and I think it's the funniest thing, a lot of people think they're going to fart in class, and guess what? Some people do. I've had it happen in class, and people just ignore it. And it's funny that that's one of the biggest fears of people, that they're going to fart. And nobody cares. It's a normal human function. And yoga has specific moves that actually help the GI system and helps with constipation and stuff like that. So it's going to happen. So don't worry about it. Maybe don't eat, or maybe go on an empty stomach, or if you're feeling like you have bubble guts or something, that might not be a day that you want to try a yoga class. But it happens. So that's something that you shouldn't worry about. I can't quiet my mind. That's the next statement I hear a lot. So yoga and meditation is not always about quieting the mind. It actually helps you to get rid of some of the thoughts that are hanging out and taking up space in the mind. It helps you learn how to process and move thoughts so that you're not allowing it to, like I said, take up space in your mind. You really want peace and quiet, but it takes practice. Because we are hustle bustle, we are instant gratification, we are all about go, go, go and never stopping. And so we've created this monster of not being able to just sit. And I know that sounds weird, we can't just sit still. But when I think about a lot, when I have a lot of new students come to class, one of the biggest things that happens, either they're real fidgety and they just can't unwind and they can't just sit still. That's going to happen. you know, you're go, go, go all the time, you're not going to be able to just, you know, let go that easily sometimes. And then I have people that fall asleep. That's okay. It's probably because your body needs it and it's enjoying just not having to do something. Don't feel bad if that happens. Okay, so the next thing, that has some kind of religious connotation. I've actually had people call me and say, y'all don't do none of that chanting stuff, do you? And I have to tell them, I might do that, but it's going to be in a specific class, or it might be with a group of people who I have known and have been coming to me for several years, who know who I'm about and what I'm about, and that I'm not trying to hypnotize you or, you know, mind control you. So if you're worried about it affecting your religious thinking or your religious life, it doesn't. There are forms of yoga that they just teach the asana or the poses, and but you know, yoga is from India, so they do a lot of they do chanting and they do mantra and they do a lot of singing, because they believe that about the body's vibrations, and they're trying to help find a focal point, and that's what mantra is. Mantra, or it's just a repeated phrase or word, or sound. And so we all have a vibration that we carry within our body, and that vibration can change. And what mantra does is it helps to change and focus that vibration so that we're more easily able to stay in a meditation. So your mind is not wandering, and it has nothing to do with religion. It's about vibration, it's about sound, it's about focusing, or replacing a negative thought with a positive sound vibration. So there's no worries about that. Now, depending on the yoga studio, I say if you really are interested in yoga and you want to go to a class, call the studio and arrange a time when maybe you can speak with just that teacher, or you can go to their class and see how they are, because this is my experience, and honestly this is the reason why I got into yoga. So I went to my first yoga class at a gym, and I'm not saying anything bad about gyms, but it sucked. And a lot of gyms, and I'm saying because I worked for one, when you go into them, they don't want any of the spiritual stuff. So if that's something that you're looking for, I would suggest not going to a gym to take a yoga class. I would go to a yoga studio to take a yoga class, because they have more freedom to do what they want to do as far as the spiritual side of it. Gyms just want to teach you the asana and the physical forms of the yoga. So that might be a starting point, which is awesome. But after I went to my first class, I did not want to take any more yoga classes. Actually, I went on for about, probably a whole year. I didn't go to another yoga class. I only took online yoga classes and read books, trying to learn about it because it helped me. But I was afraid that I was going to have a bad experience again at a class. So, and then the next thing I did was yoga teacher training. So, it kind of pushed me to want to be able to show you guys that yoga is helpful and does have a lot of benefits. I just want to be able to share that. And so I would suggest going to a studio, talking with the owner so you can kind of get the feel of the studio, and finding out what styles they teach and what might be the best for you. I'm going to do another video on the different styles of yoga, kind of explaining the definitions of what kind of yogas they are and what what a class might entail. But honestly, a lot of it has to do with the teacher. you know, there's a special relationship that happens with a yoga teacher and the student, and it's actually quite special, and it's even kind of hard to explain to a yoga teacher that connection until they actually do several classes and start to gain that relationship with the student. But it's amazing, and it's honestly, it's probably the one reason why, the number one reason why I do yoga and I teach yoga to people. But I've seen it help so many people in so many ways that honestly, I can't even explain it. And that's why I do this. This is why I'm here talking to you right now. I want you to know all these things, because I don't want you to go to a class and have a bad experience and then you're like, you're not getting the benefits of what it gives you and what it can do for your life, because it's life-changing. And it's a slow process, but it's amazing. And I want you to be able to experience that and find your way and seek what you need, and kind of fill in the holes of your life with, you know, something that's good and positive and, you know, love-filled. Here in my area, if you don't live on my side of town, you can't get to my classes. There are several other teachers that I know that are super badass and who are amazing teachers and would love to have you in their class. So if you need that help, contact me on all my social medias. I'll have that stuff below, and I can point you in the right direction. I also know some yoga teachers in other states and cities just because of my travels. So I just want to help you, and I need to know what you need. So on that note, I want to know about your experiences with yoga. And I want to know some of the questions that you have. Maybe I didn't cover something. Those are just like the top things that I hear that I could have. Literally, I don't know how many people I've met that have asked me those questions. So I can almost predict what somebody's going to ask me or tell me whenever I say, have you done yoga before? So below, if you can, you know, tell me about your experiences. I want to know, good and bad. You don't have to call out studio names and stuff. I just want to know experiences. And then I want to know your questions about yoga in general, and if there's something that you still are unquestionable about, that you're kind of afraid of. Now, one more thing I do want to mention. There are a lot of online resources, and that's something that I'm creating right now. This is why I'm starting these videos. I'm going to have online content, different types of classes, like a library of different classes that you can take. I'm still building that. Like, I'm super busy, but it is definitely in the future, hopefully the near future. And it'll be something that you can access from anywhere and stream. So just let me know anything that you want. And I'll try to provide content for that. So until next time, thank you for watching my videos. Comment and subscribe. Hopefully I'll be uploading more content quickly. I'm not going to tell you when and where, but I will be putting stuff up. And namaste. Have a blessed day.